Hi guys, Julie Walls here with Brain Retraining. I'm going to go ahead and do an afternoon round. This will be a shorter, condensed round. So if you just need just a quick round for this afternoon, feel free to just listen and close your eyes and we'll just get one in for this afternoon. Okay. All right. I'm going to refer to a little bit of my negative loops today. I do some checking in with myself in the afternoon, and my body's not used to the normalcy of the highs and lows throughout the day quite yet. So, I'm like an Energizer bunny. I go throughout the day and then don't understand why my body wants to stop in mid-afternoon. So, I get a little bit, I do a little bit of like, is this normal? Is this normal energy that I'm experiencing in the afternoon? And I just have to retrain that my body is normal, and that that everybody has a period of lull in the afternoon, and it's okay. And that normalcy needs to feel good within me, and my body's still a little confused, and that negative loop that's associated with energy happens, and it makes you kind of go to questioning, like, oh gosh, am I normal? Is this a normal depletion of energy in the afternoon? And I was told this and that, and I had all this testing done, and my God, your brain just goes in that spinning cycle, and I want out of the washer. I want out. So I'm going to do a quick round on an afternoon, just an afternoon lull, and a little bit of reassurance that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Okay? All right. So go ahead and get in position, and if you're wanting to do the steps, go ahead and stand up and do the steps with me. I do follow along with the Gupta a little bit, and I do a lot of I am statements that Annie Hopper talks about in the DNRS. So I kind of created my own little thing. All right. Okay, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take another big, deep breath in. I'm standing here just feeling those inward checking, that fear of, is this normal? Is this normal behavior, bodily depletion of energy? Is this normal? What's normal? I don't know anymore. It's been so long. And I feel that inwardness. And Annie likes to talk about being body checking, and Gupta says going inward and just focusing on the body and how the body's doing. And it just doesn't feel good. It's a lot of self-talk and negativity that I don't want to keep brewing. So I can feel my body, and I'm checking in with how it feels starting the round. And I call upon my spirit guide, my sister, who had passed long ago. And I feel her presence coming in, walking towards me, reaching out. She has her arms outstretched, and she puts her hands on my shoulders. And she says, I'm here with you. And I can feel her white light energy, her relaxing, soothing, comforting, beautiful energy just swirling around my head and my face and my shoulders, my chest, and my belly. It's this light of connectivity to God, to the universe, to the earth. And I'm feeling more grounded, more secured, more held. And as she's swirling around me and she's coming up to the left side, I can see her beautiful face. Her eyes, they're very soft, a soft gaze. She gives me a great big hug. And she's standing there in front of me. And she says, now it's time for you to just take a deep breath in and step back into position 2 and say, stop. It's time to stop. And so I step back into position 2 and I say, stop, stop, stop. And I push it all away. I push away the normalcy fears. And I step back again, just one more big step back, and I say, stop, stop, stop. My sister says, good job. That was really hard, I know, but you did it. And now we just need a little bit more grounding underneath us, a little bit more security, a little bit more faith that you're being held. And so I'm standing there on that top step, and she's standing right next to me. It's this big, beautiful granite step. And I've got my feet, and I can feel the patterned variations of the stone underneath my feet. I can like slide my foot back and forth, and I can feel the roughness and then the smooth and the little divot, and I can just feel the heaviness of that granite step underneath my feet. And I'm standing there on the top of this beautiful edge of this valley. I'm like at the top point of it. And I could feel the wind blowing at my face, kind of swirling around my hair. It's hitting my nose, hitting my cheekbones. I can feel the little tendrils of hair around my face just kind of flickering back and forth, tickling the sides of my ears. And I can feel the sun shining down on my face, warming me up. It's giving me life, giving me energy, resetting me. And I'm standing on that top step, and I'm looking down. And I can see another step, another granite step below the one that I'm standing on. It's a little further down, but I can see it. And then there's another one, and it keeps going all the way down. And there's all this low bush grass and sage and clovers and a little bit of rocks mixed in here and there. Cute little yellow flowers, cute little white flowers that are wildly popping up here and there, kind of perfectly placed along this stone path that goes all the way down this side of this valley. And then there's those boulders, those big boulders that I see that are like right next to these steps, like a stopping point. And I keep following the steps all the way below, and then there's that little dirt opening, grassy dirt area that's right next to the river. There's a flowing river. It's coming down from the mountains and spilling out into this big lake. But right now I'm focused in on this little grassy, wet, muddy looking spot right next to the riverbed. And then that big, beautiful willow tree. And the vines are hanging down. And the water's just flowing. Can you hear the flowing water? It's just melodic and constant. Never stopping. It's just always rushing, always going. Full of energy and life. And I see the mud and the hoof prints of where maybe a moose was there before, or maybe some deer, something little was just right there. Hadn't been drinking from the edge of the water, maybe taking a break underneath that willow tree, getting cooled off from maybe a day's work, taking a little bit of a afternoon siesta. I remind myself that everybody needs a stopping point in the afternoon. including the animals, people. It's a good place to just rest and to watch the river flow around the rocks. It hits the side of the mud on the side of the bank. And then there's that tree that had fallen over, created a really big obstacle in the water, but the water is completely unfazed. It's going to continue to keep going. It's never ending, doesn't stop. It's continual flow of energy. And I think these animals that sit along the bank, and they take that afternoon just kind of a stopping, they re-energize themselves with the water, and the water's flowing, and it's refreshing, it's soothing. It's a deeper connection to energy and life and frequencies that we can't really measure. And I follow the water's path. It bends around the rocks, bends around that tree, and then there's that opening. And I'm watching it, I'm like, how does all that water not get blocked right there? Because there's all these rocks that are scattered, that are just big kind of boulders that are blocking little narrow nooks and crannies where the water slips through. And then I see it, there's that little bit of an opening. The water was so powerful that no rocks could withstand it, and it made its own path, and then it spills out into this lake. And there's this big, beautiful lake in front of me. And I see the reflection of the mountains in the distance on the lake. There are variations in the mountain, like the edges, you can see the different grays and the blues and the whites, and then they're so powerful that they have this little bit of snow on the top and some cloud coverage. I mean, they're high up there, but you can see the reflection in the lake, so it's like there's two sets. It's kind of cool. And the sun is in the mid-afternoon sky, so it's still bright and shiny, warm, and shining down on the lake. And you can see the shimmer, the shine from the sun. It's reflecting on the surface. It's really pretty. It's really peaceful and really relaxing. And just then I feel that breeze and that bald eagle that's coming over the right side of me. I sensed him. I knew he was coming. I know that I'm not alone. And he flies in. His wings are outstretched and they're brown. They've got different variations in the wings. And his white headdress. It's really white. I don't know how he gets his headdress so white, but it's bright white. And he's kind of like gliding, mid-afternoon gliding, just making his way down to the lake. He looks back at me and I can see the little twinkle in his eye. It's almost like an acknowledgement that he's just kind of floating through the air, kind of just soaring and making his way in this afternoon. And he sees me and he knows that I am just like him, a leader of my own path, of my own healing journey, my own life. I have the power. And just like him, he can either just choose to use his energy to flap his wings, or he can just lay on top of the wind and just allow it to carry him through all the way down to his destination. It's very relaxing, very soothing watching him. And then I see his whole body just dissipate in the reflection of the sun and the lake, and disappears. And I come back to myself, and I'd be standing at checkpoint. And this time with the round, I'm only gonna go into my I am statements, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. And then tonight I'll finish out my second visual. But I go back, and I think it's important, really important, to talk to myself in a loving way and say, it's okay. It's okay, you're perfectly normal. Your body is still healing. and it wants to heal. You just need to give it that space. You need to give it that time, just like anybody else that's in the working world or a normal person, the normal person. They use a lot of brain energy and they use a lot of energy throughout the day, and then they hit that lull in the afternoon. Completely normal. And you are experiencing that as well. And look at all that you did this morning. You got up, you cleaned the kitchen up, you helped the kids with their homework, you made muffins, you cleaned all the dishes, you did the laundry, you made breakfast, you did all these things. You have the energy. But we have to focus in on recharging that battery still. We have to covet that battery still. And if your body is telling you to stop, it's okay. Accept it. Don't try to resist it. Don't try to force it to do things that it shouldn't be doing. It's okay to say no. It's okay to let go. It's okay to just be, not have to be on. It's okay to take a nap. You're not lazy. You did all of these things throughout the day. You've proven that your body is energy, that it can do it. Now it's time just to stop and relax. Take a little bit of an hour to yourself. That time where most everybody does. Most everybody's kind of winding down the afternoon. I think naturally our bodies are meant to just kind of stop at that time, to just digest food, relax, rest and digest. And so feel good in knowing that this is completely normal. There's no labels. There's no incapabilities. There's no worries. There's no fears. Just time to stop for a minute. Reset. And then once you reset, your brain and your body will recharge that battery. And then you can go forth with your evening. But I want to say one thing. I'm so proud of you for doing all that you do. Still making priority over emotional health and coveting the emotional health and addressing the emotional health and taking the time to do the brain retraining, stopping for a minute, relaxing, rewarding yourself for all the hard work that you did because you deserve it. What you do is hard work and it takes a lot of energy. You should reward yourself. You need a break. You need to stop. And that is what loving ourselves is to stop and say no. So you see your future self and she knows when to stop, when to give herself breaks. She's proactive about it. She's coveted her emotional energy and her physical energy. She knows when to say no and she knows when to push. She's got that great little song and dance balance going on in her body and her mind and her spirit. Everything is just kind of a balance that she's kind of continually works with. And so I step up, and this is when I'm going to finish. And I put my arms out and I say, I am energy. I am completely normal. I have self-love. I have self-care. I know my boundaries. I know my capacity. I covet my emotional energy, my emotional health. I love myself. I'm deserving. I'm deserving of a break. I'm deserving of relaxation, of meditation. All these are forms of love and honoring and respect for my mind and my body. I am energy. I am like that water. I can flow. But then I can also stop on the side like that moose or that animal and just stop and relax, recharge. Let everything around me recharge me. My body is recharging with all the energy and energy fields around me. I don't have to do anything. I can just stop and recharge just by being. I'm capable of going anywhere, doing anything. I am love, I am vitality, I'm health, I'm life. And I'm confident, and I'm so proud of me in this moment for doing the work. I'm proud, I am so proud. I am enough, I'm more than enough. So I take a deep breath in. Relax my shoulders. This is when I would stop and do maybe like a 20-minute meditation. Just relax. Really re-energize that brain battery. Take a minute. And remind myself that I'm doing the work and that tonight, this is when I would go into step 7. Say tonight, I plan on relaxing and just making a nice little dinner and just maybe doing the last part of my visual, settling in for the evening, taking a moment of self-care and self-love, reflection of all that I did throughout the day. All right, thank you very much for joining me. And this is not a complete round, but it's a partial round for me. So do what you need to do now. Maybe go and meditate for about 10 to 20 minutes and give a little bit of self-care and self-love. So thank you for watching, and thank you for brain retraining. You're doing an awesome job. And stay tuned for more videos on all things brain retraining. Love ya.